have any sort of, have you ever worked for Scram Systems?
No.
Have you ever had any special training in Scram Systems?
Yes.
What is that training?
I actually met with Ronald Grant from Sentinel, the regional representative, about maybe 2 months ago to get an advanced knowledge of this device. This is one of the very few devices that I do have advanced knowledge in, but no expertise.
Sure. And what exactly did this person teach you?
I would learn how to read the graph, kind of how to establish consumption versus a tamper, environmental factors versus consumption, etc.
Okay. So during that training, did you ever actually look at a physical device, the Scram device?
No.
So you didn't do any like live experiments where, like, for instance, you put on a Scram and then drank alcohol to see how that works?
No.
No. Okay. And as far as Mr. Kabir's Scram device, have you examined it prior to this hearing?
Me personally, no.
Okay. And so is it fair to say that you've been thoroughly trained on the theory of Scram device and alcohol detection? Is that fair to say? That you're, let me rephrase that. So you don't have any actual technical experience with how the Scram device detects alcohol in someone's skin. Is that fair to say?
Thank you.
I don't want you to think. It's yes or no.
I still don't understand.
I'm trying to understand too.
Do I not understand how a Scram device works, or have I not for myself? And
sure. So this is pretty. Is it fair to say like the science is kind of advanced here? Like when you received your training, did you have the personal opinion that was advanced science that you were learning about?
I believe so.
Okay. And you don't. So basically, it sounds like your training, and correct me if I'm wrong here. Your training was mostly so you could be able to make sense of what a report says, and not necessarily how the actual device itself works. Is that fair to say?
Partially, yes.
Okay. What am I partially wrong about?
Yes, reading the graphs, but then also what kind of would entail, what would mess with the device, essentially, as well with tampers. Environmental factors with that, makeup, or placing something between the skin, how things are worked around with the device, how people evade from, having the correct reading on the device.
Sure. And so that's, you basically learned that all in theory, right? There were no withdraw that question. So I'm just saying there was no actual, you didn't look at any studies. Did you read any studies when you did this? Okay.
I actually met with him due to another case. I wanted to further understand it. So we examined the report for that.
Wow.
And also reviewed some of the peer review articles.
Well, that's great. I'm glad that you want to, a lot of people won't, they'll just kind of do their jobs, right? I'm glad that you want a further knowledge, but what I'm trying to get at is it's fair to say that knowing how something works in theory and actually examining the actual thing itself, the practicality of it is different, right? Do you agree with that statement?
Yes.
Okay, so without actually having examined in your own personal observation how a Scram device detects alcohol in some system,